All right, hi everyone. Welcome to the second live stream of Sunnyside. It's great to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Rainy, the game director of Sunnyside, joined by our producer Sydney. If you want to say hi.
Hello, everybody.
As always, let us know if there's any technical issues, specifically with audio or video, but I can tell that, but audio especially, so that we can quickly fix that. Um, at any point in the stream, if you want to follow Sunnyside or figure out more about how to join things, there are links down in the description. YouTube is good for that. But as I saw, I think Rin mentioning YouTube doesn't have the best emotes, and that's absolutely right. I don't know if you can have custom emotes on YouTube. If you can't, they really need to add it. But yeah, hi everyone. It's just
I
it's
don't
great to be here again.
I don't know. I don't know if you can. I don't know. Hopefully they adjust.
Hopefully. Okay, so as always, I have a nice little outline that Sydney has prepared for me. Yeah. First of all, we have some nice announcements at the end of the stream, so you might want to stay for the through to the end of the stream, so you don't miss those. But also, if you have any question at any point during the stream, just go onto our Discord channel, Discord server, not channel, and then there is a channel there called Stream QA. And go ahead and post your questions there. And after the stream finishes, we're gonna have a nice stage on Discord. We're gonna try that new feature, and we are going to answer all of your questions.
Yeah.
Okay, volume seem fine. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it has been a crazy few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we had our live stream, we didn't have any of the streamer alphas out, but it's been both stressful and exciting to see all the influencers play Sunnyside. We did so much bug fixing, so much more than we have ever done in the past in such a short amount of time. And as soon as you do as soon as you add a new feature, you're gonna spend more time fixing things that feature
Yeah.
brings than actually implementing that feature. So that's been fun. But otherwise, otherwise, yeah, it's been great.
That on the fly bug fixing has been fun.
Yeah. um, I just got an. There we go. I want to make sure I turn off alerts on YouTube. I don't think we have join as an option, so there we go. Right.
Hey, look, we got a bunch of streamers in the chat. We got Minnie Fox in here. We got Tater Dog. We got Casey. Rabby Rose is in here.
Thank you guys for breaking the game
Yeah,
and
seriously.
showing us where the cracks are so that we can go ahead and fill them in. I'm gonna specifically say Tater because Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, dude, Tater is really good at not just finding bugs. I think actually he's probably better at finding exploits than bugs,
Yeah,
which
but also potentially understanding what's causing them,
mm,
which makes our job a lot easier because, we can go, oh, we know exactly what code to hop into and look at it and try to figure out what's broken rather than just like, there's this problem and we're not really sure what's causing it. So,
yeah.
not that you guys aren't all fabulous, but Tater's got above and beyond. We really appreciate it. Yeah, he is a game breaking pro.
He is. And we do joke about, you guys breaking the game and all of that stuff, but honestly, QA and testing is probably one of the most important parts in the
Yeah, for
process of a
sure.
game. You can see how many broken games coming out these days, and it can only it's either hasn't been done well in QA or they just didn't care to fix it. So I'm glad that we have you guys that can go ahead and find all these problems, so that in the retail version of the game it'll be as perfect as it can be.
It's also helping us make sure because the next stage is the alpha that people purchased for Kickstarter and then for backer kit. And so all the stuff that you guys have done over the last 3 weeks is helping us make sure that the Kickstarter backers get a really good game and then the backer kit backers will get an even better game. And so it's really helping us kind of prep for those bigger releases where instead of it going out to 40 people it's going out to 400 people, so we really appreciate it.
I'm gonna put some music in the background. It might be really loud for a second, so do not
All right,
jump.
Loud noise warning. Yeah. One of the best things that's come out of the Tater bug fixing nonsense is it's his relationship with Kazuki. That's been cracking me up.
he seems to be scamming people a lot, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel bad because I'm on a different time zone than Mini Fox, so I've mostly missed all the streams, but I was enjoying the giant strawberry farm.
Oh yeah. And we have done quite a game-changing update in the past week. So we implemented fishing, but during implementing fishing, we decided to finally fix our tool wheel because it wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And in doing so, we kind of broke everyone's saves. So just lots of bad things happened with that. But it's now there. We're going to go into it in just a bit. But first, we have some business stuff to take care of. And we have our business person with us today. So I don't have to explain things. So go ahead, Sydney. Fill everyone in on the
Filling everybody in. So as everybody knows, we have been looking for a publisher since April, March, and I think this is the biggest area that's been like uncovering our inexperience in the industry. We kind of figured, oh, somebody's interested, that means we're going to be able to sign them in a month, and really it takes months of legal conversations and contract evaluations and a whole bunch of stuff. And so luckily we have a really incredible lawyer who has been helping us out. I hope he's in here. His name is Ben, and he's been an incredible resource to us. And so in dealing with all the different publishers who've been interested, at one point we kind of came down to a decision that we were feeling good about, but we weren't 100% certain about. So instead of forming a formal, like, complete relationship with a contract and all that stuff, we entered into, it's like a soft relationship, where you sign a temporary contract called a letter of interest, and you can kind of work together, but it's under the understanding that there are certain requirements that need to be met in order for everything to continue. And so it's kind of a temporary period to like suss each other out, see if this will work, see if we like everything. And so a few weeks ago when we kicked off the live stream or the alpha, we kind of had entered into a soft formal relationship with Creativo to kind of test each other out, see if they were right for us, and kind of to show good faith, we put their name on stuff. They helped us get our trailer onto IGN, and it was a great working relationship. We helped each other out. Everything was awesome. But in continuing forward, we just decided it wasn't the best relationship for us. We're just kind of needy, to be honest. We need a lot of stuff in order to get Sunnyside done. And Creativo's got a lot on their plate, and it was kind of a mutual decision that we just didn't think it was going to work out. So we have ended that relationship. We're all on good terms. There's no hard feelings. We don't hate anybody. Nothing happened. It was just, this is how business goes. So you might have noticed for a while we had Creativo's name on stuff. We had their name on the game, their name on the trailer, and we've since pulled all of that. So we don't want anybody freaking out. Nothing's gone wrong. We don't hate them. Everything's fine. We especially don't want them getting any like more bad press. It was just not right for us. And so we're still pursuing other offers. So hopefully we'll continue to have news on that front, but we just don't have anything yet. And the second we have anything that we can share with you guys, we absolutely will. Because you know us, we like honesty. So that's where we're at with that. I've gotten a couple people like, hey, what's going on? So, we don't want anybody freaking out. There's nothing wrong. It's just, it wasn't for us. It wasn't for them, and everything's fine. So That's
Yes.
where we're at with the publisher stuff.
Yeah, as Sydney mentioned, Sunnyside is a pretty needy game. We need a lot of resources in terms of voice acting and stuff like that. We need a lot of funds to continue the game, to finish the game at the quality that we want it to be. And so that's why it happened. And again, all the best to the Creativo team. During the short period that we
Absolutely.
worked together, they were amazing. They really helped us with the Steam page. And I'm happy to say that our wish lists are at a really, really high number, although our Steam page has been only up for like a month. So all the best to them, but we are pursuing other publishers that might be more suitable for our what's the word? Our I'm trying to find that word for size, but I can't
I
find it.
apologize. I was
gonna
reading
say
comments
vision.
and I wasn't listening.
That's all right. But yeah.
Speaking of the Steam page, do you want to show off the Steam page?
Yes.
We're very proud of it. It took a lot of hard work and effort in figuring out their back end, which was very confusing to us. All the love to Steam, but your back end sucks. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading comments as well, but yeah, Rabbit Rose,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly the point. We need a publisher that covers all of our needs, because we want to compromise as little as possible for Sunnyside, and we already have a very extensive plan of how to control things, like a emergency plan, I suppose. So all of it is spread out so that if we can't reach certain deadlines, we can always spread things apart. So we didn't want to trace back on our steps and remove anything from Sunnyside. So that's why we wanted to go with a publisher that is more fit our needs.
Yeah, and Vanessa makes a good point that Sunnyside's a huge game. We do have a fairly large team for an indie studio, and we have a fairly large budget because of the size of our team. So, game budgets aren't about just like, oh, I think it's going to take $100,000 to make a game. Where the game cost comes from is how many people you need to pay. So if we want everybody working full-time on Sunnyside, we're going to have to pay them a full-time salary to work on Sunnyside. That's how it goes. So that's our budget. So you can kind of get an idea for how much we think Sunnyside's going to cost. That's been really the hardest thing for us is finding a publisher who's willing to take that big of a risk on a completely brand new studio. And we think we've found a couple. So
yeah,
we're almost there.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna just give a little bit more information on the fact that it is now a much better place. Like, we've never been in a better place publisher wise, because
I agree.
Before the Steam page went up, to get a publisher, and this is just like a tip to all the game devs out there, before you get a publisher, you need to have some sort of outlet out there that shows some sort of potential, right? And Discord is apparently it's not good enough, or YouTube or socials like that. But one thing that is really important is presence on stores, even if it's as a upcoming game. So as soon as we put Sunnyside on Steam, suddenly there's a lot more faith in our project.
Absolutely.
From some really big companies. So that's why we're in probably the best place we've ever been when it comes to publishers. And hopefully it is in our own best interest to find a publisher as soon as possible, so that we can finally put all of our focus on actually developing the game and get all those resources that we need. And namely, we need a Switch dev kit so that we can start the development on the Switch version of the game as quick as possible, because I just noticed some of you mentioning the Switch version of the game, Han specifically, and we're gonna have some news on that hopefully as soon as we get the publisher thing sorted. But yeah, we do have our Steam page up. The best thing you can do to Sunnyside, this is probably even more important than pre-ordering the game on BackerKit, I'm not even joking, is going and wishlisting the game. Even if you have pre-ordered the game on a different console, just wishlisting our game on Steam is super, super helpful. You don't have to pay anything, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just clicking that wishlist button does a lot for us. And there's the link to it down below in the description. I think it's the very first link. You can go ahead and wishlist the game over there. You can also join our Steam community. I don't
Also
think,
a huge thing.
Yeah, that is also a huge thing. I don't think, have you put the sorry, link to that?
Oh no, I haven't. But it's there. It's not on yours, Rainy, because you're part of it. But there's a little button that says follow. It's pretty easy to find.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, sorry, I was just dying for a second. I'm fine. But yeah, that is the Steam. Just gonna read some of your comments.
Yeah, so that's what I was doing. It's I really agree with what you guys are saying, is that it's, for us, it's definitely better to release a game that is complete and meets the traditional gold standard of going gold. Whereas it's kind of become normal now to release a game mostly finished and then have like a day one patch, which we don't want to go that route. We really want to do our best to make as polished a game as possible. With Sunnyside, you can pretty much assume 90% of the time, if you're playing it, if you run into something that you think is a bug, it's probably a feature, because we're going to be putting in all of the time beforehand to make sure you're not having those problems. Not to say there won't be any, but we're going to do our dang best to make sure we get to everything as much as possible. And if there's something that we can't figure out how to fix it, we will let you guys know, so that you know that it's something we're actively working on. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're definitely doing our best.
So last bit of business thing, we have some news on the alpha stuff. So right after the we announced the very last wave of alpha influencer keys going out last Friday, and we've had a few more influencers that have reached out to us trying to get a key, and in the past we said that we had a list and we weren't going to expand it, but we decided to do in fact expand it. So you can expect to see more influencers getting access to Sunnyside. I'm not sure when you have the dates.
Well, that was the announcement. You just gave away the announcement.
Did I? I didn't give out the dates. Okay, well, there you go. You have an early announcement. Yeah, so look forward to more streams of Sunnyside, hopefully. And we have sent out Sunnyside to a big, considerable size of streamers. But I don't think we had any streamers from our last list streaming Sunnyside just yet.
No,
it's understandable.
I also didn't announce them.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So
it is understandable because of the fact that Pokemon came out and Animal Crossing's new DLC and an 2.0 update came out, and I've actually been playing it myself, so I don't judge anyone. It's great. The DLC is so worth it. Nintendo's not paying me to say this, but it's actually really worth it. You should get it. Anyway, so we're going to get onto some characters now. So we had a new character introduced pretty much after our stream, so we didn't actually introduce our character. Somebody just pre-ordered Sunnyside. Thank you.
Woo! Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, so we haven't actually introduced her properly, and her name is Hina. And as always, Sydney, take it away.
Yeah, so Hina has been a lot of fun for me to design personally, because she has a lot of me put into her. So Hina is Sebastian's mom. And if you guys are reading the profiles about them or anything like that, Sebastian left college to come and help his mom with her kind of failing restaurant. So now you get to meet Hina, who is at the heart of that failing restaurant. And so as you go through the game, you're going to find out why her restaurant started to not be as successful as it was. You're going to find out what the plan is to change that. But kind of a little bit about her backstory. She is an only child. She was born and raised in Sunnyside, and her parents basically spent all of their money to send her to the best culinary school in Japan, and she worked her butt off and ended up becoming a famous chef. in her like early 20s. And so traveled Japan, being super successful, and then met Sebastian's dad. They settled in Sunnyside. She opened a restaurant. And then, time continued. And in her 30s ish, excuse me, she do I want to tell? Yeah, I'm going to tell people about this. So in her 30s, she was diagnosed with degenerative disease, which you'll find out more about in playing the game. And that's why she wears the gloves. It's why she looks like she wears really comfortable clothing. We kind of wanted to showcase those hidden diseases that you don't really see, but still affect people's lives, because that's something that I deal with, a couple other people on our team deal with, and we wanted to kind of talk about it. So that's kind of Hina's purpose, if you will. But I used to be a chef. I had to kind of stop doing it because physically I couldn't handle it anymore. So there's a lot of kind of my life experiences put in her character. So she's been a lot of fun to write. But yeah, that's Hina. She may or may not be romanceable.
Yeah, we're still debating on that, because when we made Gabe and Lucy both romanceable, it sounds really cool on paper, but there's a lot of work that goes into making sure there are no conflicting issues with both the gameplay design, and also the writing and the narrative. So, throwing another of the same in the mix might make it difficult, Hina and Sebastian both. So, but she's a very interesting character to go with that route if you want to. It's a very unique type of character to go with that route, especially in this genre. I don't think characters like this aren't usually romanceable. So when that side of the character is revealed to the players, it'll introduce some very unique stories to follow. Yeah, that might be also a lot more interesting to our more mature audience, which is actually the majority of the fan base of this genre.
And we've talked about that we want to have some characters who are romanceable, but who will be much, much more difficult to romance. And that's kind of the category that Hina is in. But in order to maintain the surprise of playing the game, we don't really want to tell you guys much more than that. But definitely keep your eye on her. She's going to be an interesting character.
Yeah. All right. Next one is actually not so far away, Sebastian. So we are going to add Sebastian very soon to the game. We have all of his models done, all of his portraits done. And in fact, I'm just going to open Unreal really quickly and open up Sebastian's model. Alan, our modeler, in conjunction with Ken, our second modeler. Alan has killed it, and Ken goes in and just cleans it up. Just turn the turntable on. But I am just so amazed every time he does these, just how much detail goes into these models. It is fantastic. And, since we did that Gabriel upgrade, you guys might have noticed a huge bump in quality in our character models.
Yeah.
And, Sebastian is definitely one of those. I absolutely love his little wrist stuff.
His little hair ties.
I actually never looked closely at the watch.
Yeah, the watch is cool.
Let me get away. Nice. Very good.
Yeah, he looks absolutely fantastic.
And as I mentioned, he also has portraits. You go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we're gonna hopefully be dropping him in the game soon.
Yes. So there's a lot that goes into adding Sebastian to the game, because
so much.
Do we want to talk about his... I think we should talk about his building and what we're planning to do with
so
it.
The biggest thing about adding a character, and I think I've mentioned this before, it's not as simple as just taking a character model and dropping it in the game. I wish it was that easy. You have to create all their dialogue, you have to create their schedules that they follow, you have to create paths for them to walk around. So Natalie, that's why it took us a little while to get Natalie in the game. But with Sebastian, we also have an entire business that we have to drop in there, which is why it took us a while to get Kazuki up and running functionally, is because we then have to model all the stuff that he sells. We have to create all the pricing and make sure it's all balanced. We have to make the building. We have to put the building on the map. We have to make it so all the NPCs can get to it. We have to add that building into the schedules of all the other NPCs. So it's him alone is going to take like 2 weeks worth of the entire team working just to get him into the game. So we just want to give you guys an idea of like, our biggest goal is to give everybody who follows Sunnyside a behind the scenes look on how these games are made. And so that's why we kind of explain everything to you. I don't want anybody thinking like we're making excuses and stuff. It's just, this is how it works. This is what it takes. You know, he has a bunch of stuff that he sells in his cafe that all has to be modeled and icons have to be made. And that's, you know, what our team does all the time. So it's a lot of work, a lot of stuff.
Specifically about his cafe, I would want to spend more than the other buildings on it. And there are a few reasons a cafe in Sunnyside exists at all. And a few of them, one of them is the fact that just Japan in general has a lot of influence from France, and French cafes and French style cafes are really, they're abundant in Japan. So that's one. Another is I just really love the environments of a cafe, the jazz music and everything. So I wanted to put that cozy sort of environment in Sunnyside as well. You know, you guys know at this point the atmosphere is everything to me, and a cafe was a necessity. And, you know, seeing and playing it in games like Animal Crossing with Brewster, especially being at it recently, and in Persona having Leblon, having that amazing atmosphere, I really wanted to have a cafe in Sunnyside. But recently we have, we're still going to have the cafe, but recently we had some really interesting talks about how we are going to put that cafe in Sunnyside and how we're going to design it.
So this is where I come in and ruin everything. So, so y'all know that my biggest thing is realism, and I want the game to be real and immersive and make sense. And small cafes in Japan are in Tokyo and in the larger cities. You're not going to find them really in countrysides. And if you do, they're going to be very specific the way that they're like set up. And it's just not the vision that Rainy had. So we had to have a lot of discussions of how can we make this realistic? How can we make it work for the game? How can we make it so that it's not going to like completely copy other games? We want to make it unique to Sunnyside. So we came up with something that we think is going to work. It's going to be a lot of fun. And essentially what you're going to get in the beginning of the game is going to be Hina's restaurant.
Yeah. So it's not going to really look like much of a cafe, and it's going to look like a restaurant that has been kind of run down a little bit, not taken good care of. And then throughout the story, as Sydney was about to say, is you kind of turn it into that cozy cafe that it will eventually become. And this is Sebastian's portrait.
Oh God, his portraits are so good. Is Kaori in here? Because I love talking about how amazing she is.
Yeah, Kaori.
Can we just talk about how amazing she is? Look at that. Can you cycle through a couple of his expressions?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm watching the stream, but it's like a minute behind. So like his expression changes, the pencil moves. I'm so excited to implement his portraits. They're gonna look so good. Oh, Persephone's in here. Another one of our streamers. Hey, Persephone.
Hi, welcome. But he probably has one of the most interesting personalities in Sunnyside, and he is quite eccentric, and I would say he's more on the anime side of things. Is he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he definitely is more on the anime side of things compared to, because we kind of categorize our characters a little bit. While it's not like that in the story as much. But we have the anime characters, and then we have more realistic characters. And he's definitely more in the anime, like Cat, basically, is also more anime.
We're trying to hit specific anime notes with all the different characters. And so, like, Sebastian and Cat and Natalie, Lucy are more like your classic, like, high school anime. And then a lot of our older characters are a lot of your more, like, edgy kind of animes that follow adults, and we're kind of trying to wrap that all up into one game, which, hopefully we do well.
Yeah. All right. And of course, I'm just gonna quickly show Natalie's portraits as well, which you guys have already seen a few of them in some of the streams that have been played on the latest version of Sunnyside. And yeah, this is Natalie. She is the more responsible of the two. If you want to, I mean, we've talked about Natalie before, but if you want to just give some quick lore on her.
Yeah, so Natalie is Kat's older sister. She has been she's been a lot of fun to write. She's going to be probably one of the most nuanced characters. Probably similar to Gabe in that you're going to get kind of one idea about her personality, but then after talking to her and getting to know her, you're going to start to see a different side of her and start to realize why she acts the way that she does and the way she does things the way that she does. One of the, and I've said this before, but I'll just kind of say it again, the biggest writing inspiration that I'm using for how we're writing Sunnyside is Fruits Basket. And what I love about Fruits Basket is, oh, Dr. D-Dub's in here. Hey, Dr. D-Dub. What I love about Fruits Basket is the way they wrote that anime is that you know in the very beginning who the bad guy is, who the good guy is, and you feel like you understand everything. And as they go through, you start seeing the backstories of the bad guys. You start seeing the backstories of the good guys, and you start to see that the good guys have a lot of really bad things that they do, and the bad guys have a lot of really good things that they do, and everybody has justifications for their actions. And so that's kind of how we're writing Sunnyside's story, is everybody is very human in the way that they act, the way that they talk, the way that they make decisions, interact with people, all that stuff. So there isn't going to be, we're going to have a little bit of the like tropes, but they're not going to be as clear cut as you might expect from a game like this. So, and it's fun to write.
Yep. Okay, so after this, we are pretty much done with the characters for now, for this stream.
Yep.
We are going to jump into the engine and show you guys some of the latest stuff that happened. Usually I run the game from Unreal itself, but because it doesn't run as well, it's a lot slower when it's not exported and all packaged and all that. So I'm actually going to run it through Steam. So let's get Steam up.
Make sure you're on the right version.
Yeah, no, I hope so.
I gotta say, there's nothing cooler as a creator than loading up Steam, being able to see that like play button under your banner. That's just the coolest feeling.
It is. It absolutely is. Sorry, I just want to make sure that the audio doesn't go crazy. So let me quickly change my audio to not come out of that and instead go through this channel.
Actually, Tater, I can tell you the reason for Kazuki's wood obsession right now. He's got to run those forges somehow, man. The only way is by scamming you guys out of your wood.
Man, Windows 11 made everything so much more. There we go. Thank you. The volume mixer is just couldn't find that. Continue. Oh my god, you know what continue is gonna do?
Continue. No, don't continue.
Continue is going to open Malocat's save.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because I was testing her save, seeing what's wrong with it. So I'm not gonna open somebody else's save. Yeah. It's just
don't
quick.
do that.
It's just quickly.
Also,
make
we want to show
character.
off the new intro quest.
The new intro quest. Oh yeah.
The tools.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go to my just quickly do this. You guys have seen this before. Is the sound and everything coming through well? Because my Streamlabs is kind of frozen. Let me make sure that we have everything working. Just one sec.
Oh, you've got your music still playing, so it's playing over the game volume.
Well, the game volume is muted, but I think my face is frozen. Just gonna get a nice pop-out chat over there. Okay, my face might get frozen, but the game will run, so as long as we have audio, it's fine.
Are you not gonna play the Sunnyside music?
I mean, I could.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay. So, yeah, this is a quick way to make a character. I'm just gonna do it as like that, and then take that off, put this on, and change it to be orange. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like someone from Haiku now. Okay. I mean, if you know, you know. The sound is fine, but the Streamlabs... Is it just my face that is frozen? Because that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
See, we should have switched to OBS.
Don't tell him I'm using SLOBS. Oh god, I clicked outside of Sunnyside and it's now really slow. How do I click back in?
Click the screen.
Okay, yeah, it's fine now. Didn't have a cursor. Okay,
it's
so...
not a Sunnyside screen if there's no technical difficulties.
Yeah. It's just... I did what Doug told me, which is giving priority to the game versus SLOBS, and I'm glad I did that because the game was running a lot better. We actually fixed the problem with the dialogue getting kind of stuck on some of the button choices, so I can actually go really quickly and it won't get stuck. So
yeah,
you're welcome, streamers. And yeah, this is where you get that new quest for the tools as well. There's like a tiny quest. There we go, tools of the trade. And Gabe, if you remember, Gabe tells you to get the tools from the shed, but there was nothing in the shed before. We finally added it. We had plans. So we're gonna watch Gabe awkwardly walk to his car.
Awkwardly.
Alright, and now we do have the quest. And as you can see on the left side of the screen, we have tools of the trade pop up. Keep in mind that at any point you can always switch between the quests that you have active. So if you go to journal, you can click on a different quest, and then that quest will get activated on the left side of the screen. So if you want to follow up a very specific quest, you can always do that. But I'm gonna just follow this one, and we're just gonna walk there or run there.
I like that. Computer guy, how do I click back?
I didn't have a cursor, okay? We also added 3 tutorial panels just to tell you guys how the whole tool thing works. So as you guys know, you press the middle mouse button to open the tool wheel. We realized that a lot of new players didn't realize that, so we thought we would mention it. And yeah, you can actually place the tools. There are inventory items that go into your tool slots, and some of them have additional inventories inside of themselves. So if I quickly grab these tools, and you can hear the quest getting updated in the background, we're actually going to have that show on top of this so that you can see what is exactly being updated. And thank you to whoever ordered Sunnyside again.
Yay! Y'all are the best.
And yeah, as I mentioned, by the way, I don't have shadows because I'm running the game on with ray tracing. You shouldn't do that. Don't do that. That's why the game was slow.
Wait, why?
I'm running it on ray tracing mode.
Oh, well that's silly.
Yeah, that is silly. Let me quickly fix that while you answer some questions.
Sure.
Because the game will be really slow if I run it.
I saw a couple. Somebody asked if more clothes and hair and stuff was planned. Yeah, the content in the character creator right now is maybe 15% of what we have planned. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot more stuff. As soon as Alan is done with making all the models, that's gonna be what he'll be working on in perpetuity. So he's just gonna be adding more stuff to the character creator, more clothes, more hair, lots of customization options. So
hi, Miss Bubbles, welcome to the stream.
hey, Miss Bubbles, another one of our alpha influencers.
Yes. All right, so I have shadows now. Yay. Yeah, ray tracing is something we're still working on. It's really weird currently for some reason. But yeah. Things look just really weird with it. Reflections look amazing, but that's about it.
Yeah, so I said 15%. Now people are freaking out. So we want to add glasses. Actually, the glasses are already modeled. We just have to put them in. So are beards. Facial hair has already been modeled. Just needs to be dropped in. Which sounds easy. Oh, you just drop it in. But we have to like redesign the whole UI. Which reminds me, the whole UI is going to get changed. We've had some really great suggestions about how to fix this. So we're going to be doing that. We also want to add in a ton more clothing, a ton more hairstyles, more face customization options, so like more eyes, more eyebrows. So yeah, basically the only stuff that's finalized is anything that's sitting on a slider. Everything else is going to have more stuff added to it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more content.
Okay, so let me go through this again now that our frame rate is at a 60. So the left side of the screen before was useless because you could see a character, but that was about it. And the reason we had the character there before was that you could change your clothes. You could change it on the fly. We decided to kind of change that. You can still change your clothes, but you need to go somewhere specific to be able to do that. But that allows us to have this nice tool wheel that kind of shows on your backpack so that you can place and replace and remove tools however you like. Now, this left side of the screen isn't going to stay like this. We're going to have a few tabs that you can switch between to change things. Stuff like combat equipment, skill trees and stuff like that. You can just do all of that management over here. But as you can see, the tools are now inventory items. But they don't actually take space while they're in your tool slot. So one of the benefits of this is that if we have a better version of a tool, you can take both of them with you. Can then equip both of them and then use them interchangeably. Or if we have, for example, our fishing poles, some of them are better for certain stuff and some of them are better for certain other things, and you might want to switch between them depending on the situation, so you can put two of them on different slots. This also means that if you put two different fishing slots on two different of these slots, you can put different lures in them and then switch between them while you're playing. So I'm just going to quickly put my axe there, pickaxe, and I'll just put my crop and tree down there. I have my tools nicely arranged. So that is pretty much it for now for the tools, but we also obviously have the fishing pole, which brings an additional thing to the tool wheel as well. So let's go ahead and buy a fishing pole from Sako quickly.
Yeah, we wanted you guys to, again, everything we're doing is about customizability. So, you know, we want you to be able to move your tools in a way that works for you, but we also don't want them to take up space in your inventory if they don't have to, which is something that's kind of always bothered me about farm sims, that you have this hot bar, but you have to load it up with all your tools, and it just kind of always bugs me. So
a very, very, very good question from Beertastic Yogi. I love your name, by the way. So they're asking about accessibility things, and that is that is a huge thing for us, accessibility, and we definitely want to invent in that area as well. So for Sunnyside, we're definitely going to add a different method for fishing, because we realize not a lot of people can click really quickly. They might want to fish in a different method, so we're going to add that. We're going to have an option that removes lightning strikes, because I understand a lot of people really honestly don't like them, or gives them or you know, it can be seizure inducing. So we're also having another tick that removes any flashing object from the game, and we're kind of going to take it up from there. Obviously stuff like subtitles and stuff like that are going to be present, but we're definitely going to add as many accessibility options, because we understand that this genre specifically is like an escape room to people, so we want to make sure it's accessible to as many different people as possible. So yeah,
and the big thing too is we have a slight benefit.
I'm gonna speed up the game quickly, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, of me being able to test things, because I have a lot of neuropathy issues, which is a common issue that gamers have. So, you know, spam clicking anything is something I just can't do for a long time. I get uncomfortable if I have to use the mouse for too long, so it's better if I can switch to a controller. So there's a lot of things that I can kind of speak up about early and be like, hey, this is a problem. We need to look into this. So for instance, you guys will see with fishing, right now it's a spam click mechanism, but we're going to have a click and hold at some point, or we're going to, we also will be able to, we're also going to give players the option to remap keys at some point. It's not in the game yet, but it's definitely planned. We're also going to have a lot of different settings options for things like volume, which isn't in the game yet, but it is absolutely going to be, because I know people like me, I can't handle loud sounds. So I always turn off like music and extra noises and stuff when I play games. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff that we have in the works, and we're definitely considering a lot about how we can make the game as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, and Grandpa Monkey, exactly. I mean, arthritis is, generally thought to be like an old person kind of thing, but surprisingly, half of people who suffer from arthritis are young people. So we acknowledge that, and we want to make sure that we have ways for people. Yeah, it's going to be a click and hold situation. You pretty much hit the nail. So the fishing pole, I place it in my tool slot, and it can be in any slot, it doesn't matter. And then it has a slot of its own. And we might expand this up to different items. Currently, it's just a fishing pole that has it. And you can only put a lure there. You can't put like food items at the moment in there. But a fly lure is one of the type of lures that we have. We're going to have different types of it, and they work differently for where you're fishing, or some fish might just be more interested in different types of lures. And this might sound all a bit scary, but we're going to have a fishing companion app soon implemented into the game that will give you all the information that you're going to need. It's going to take care of all the records that you had on the biggest fish you caught in every species, and it's also going to give you additional information on how you can fish better. So I'm going to put the lure there, and then this means that I can go ahead and equip this really nicely. And all we have to do now is to actually find a fishing spot, and they're easy to spot. You're gonna be able to see the fish kind of swimming under the water, like you can see some of them there, and because of how far away I am from them, they're kind of low res, kind of glistening a little bit. So let's go somewhere that or more of them, but we're not going with the route of showing you a silhouette of a fish that you're not sure what it is until you catch it. You're actually going to see the full 3D model of the fish, and there's never going to be one fish. There's always a school of fish, so there's going to be like 20 of them in one spot swimming around. And I'm going to show that at a closer look after I'm done showing you the actual gameplay of it, because I am so proud of how those fish look underwater. They look like Red Dead level of detail.
Yeah, Ken modeled all the fish, and he just absolutely killed it.
He killed it.
The fish look fantastic. While you're kind of running, I'm gonna answer a couple questions real quick.
Go for it.
One of the things that got asked was, oh dang it, where'd it go? About localizing holidays. So no, we're not. The holidays are not going to be localized at all, because they're all going to be Japanese holidays. So that's one of the benefits that we have for locking specifically the region of the game to Japan. It's not like an ambiguous like Animal Crossing or Stardew, where it's just kind of like some generic place somewhere. We specifically are putting it in Japan so that we can highlight Japanese stuff. And one of those stuff is Japanese holidays. So yeah, just a little side thing.
So currently,
yeah, huge props to whoever's working on our wiki page. Y'all are just
I gotta give a huge shout out to the wiki guys. You guys are doing amazing, and every time I see any message in the wiki channel, I go ahead and check the wiki. It looks fantastic.
Same.
And it's just so exciting, because I told Sydney before, I said the day that we're gonna have a fan-made wiki is the day that I know we've made it, and we're there, and it's just fantastic. Right, so to the fishing, you click, and then you get a nice little indicator that shows you where your line is gonna go. Now, this is something that I am still thinking about. I might not give you this option right away at the start of the game. You might just get a kind of a slider thing that goes up and down, and then this would be like an upgrade that you can get that will show you exactly where it's gonna go, because this is a little bit OP.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So to see exactly where your line is gonna go is, it's a pretty professional sort of grade ability. So, oh, my character just decided, okay, he got tired. So you just click, and then your line will go there. And because I have a lure on it, they're going to bite it really quickly. And as soon as they bite, you need to rapid press the left click. And as I mentioned before, we're going to give you a secondary option. And there's not going to be a default option. You're going to get the accessibility options at the start of the game so that you can choose however you like to play. But if I fully fill it, you get a kind of a catch sequence, shows you what that fish is, gives you a quick fact, and tells you if it's your personal best. And the fish are harder to catch on the rapid press mode. Basically, the bigger they are, the harder you need to press. Yesterday, while I was watching Tater stream, he got a really big fish, and it was really, really difficult to catch.
Yeah.
And I was happy. I was like, thank God the rapid press mode is working. So, and yeah, you click again, you get out of it. Now, here's another thing that we added. It's like a hidden little update thing that we added, but I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people, save a lot of people's lives. But at any point in the game from now on, if you click and hold the right click, you get an aim mode. And this will give you a real world indicator of where you're aiming at. And we realized a lot of people had issues with planting crops or harvesting crops, so we kind of changed how interactability in Sunnyside works completely. So by default, your interaction box is in front of your character, not in front of your camera anymore. So you don't need to specifically look at a tree to be able to cut it. If my player is looking at it, that's all that matters. But if I have things that are really closely placed next to each other, and if I want to aim precisely at that, I can hold the right click and then I can aim at the tree, and my indicator will show me exactly what I'm aiming at. It will also orient itself on the surface. And yeah, you can use aim mode at any point. So this was something we wanted to add, but we realized that we really need to have it before the fishing pole can make any sense, because check this out. So I want to stand here and then fish that way, right? And if I want to adjust myself, I'll need to do this and then look forward again. And then there's a chance of me falling into the water because I'm moving forward constantly. But if you go into aim mode, you can then just strafe left and right and not risk falling in the water. So by aiming, you go into WASD is just strafing, and then by default, WASD kind of changes the direction of your character. So yeah, that's something that I think a lot of people are going to appreciate. Hopefully, we're going to be watching all of your streams to see how this whole new aiming mechanic is going to work. Do we not have any fish here?
Where?
Like, can I not fish at top of the bridge?
Not in that spot, no.
Okay.
The only one by the bridge is over near the overlook where Hero plays with his drone.
Oh, right, yeah. Where's another place I can find the cherry salmon?
There's only 2 spots.
Oh.
They're over near where the baths are gonna be.
The what's gonna be?
The baths. Behind the shrine.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm running out of stamina. Crap. See, it happens to us too.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Is EA going to release? Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of questions about early access, so I'm just going to answer them. So the way that we have it set up right now, yeah, we do have a roadmap, a loose roadmap set up in our FAQ in the Discord server, but a general loose is December-ish is going to be our Kickstarter alpha. February-ish is going to be our backer kit alpha. We're not sure about Steam early access yet. We haven't decided. There's gonna be a discussion between us and the publishers about whether or not we want to do it, because we don't want to get stuck in EA hell. So if we don't do an EA on Steam, we'll definitely let you guys know. But if you've purchased early access with backer kit, that's the backer kit alpha in February. And then anybody, actually no, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so and then the full release, what we're aiming for is for PC and Switch to release at the same time. We can't promise that yet, but that's the goal. So that'll be probably October-ish of next year.
Fish.
I'm also seeing a lot of stuff about fish ponds, fish tanks, stuff like that. We're not sure yet. That's not something we've planned for, just because it's going to take a ton of work to get to work. It's a completely different mechanic than anything that we have. With a lot of stuff, if it's similar enough to a mechanic we already have planned, then it's easy to just kind of move it a little bit and have it be something different. But putting fish in a fish tank for y'all to look at is completely brand new to anything we have planned. So can't make any promises. If we have time and the money, cool, we'll do it, but we're not sure. Han's here. Hi, Han.
Hi, Han. What's up? Right, so there's another thing I forgot to mention about fishing, and that is the reeling in thing. So
Those are not trout.
I just caught a damn fish. I wish I didn't. Let me cast my line somewhere that I don't have a fish. So if I aim this way so that there's no fish there. So at any point, if you hold the left click, you're gonna reel in. And the point of this reeling in situation is that if you overshot your line, you can always reel it in to get it exactly where it needs to be. And then if you reel in too much, obviously you're just gonna get the line back. Yeah, let's just catch one more fish. That's a tiny one. All right. Thanks, game.
Did you move down to the cherry salmon?
Yeah. The kid-eye is cherry salmon, right?
No, cherry salmon are closer to the ocean.
Oh, okay. I'll go further down. We're gonna ignore Gabe, by the way. Oh, right, I see. Wait. This is... Oh, yeah, it is cherry salmon.
Yep.
Yeah, so we also made the fish kind of glow a little bit so that you can see it
Make
easier.
them easier.
Yeah, especially at night, it will be impossible to see in the water, so... They're gonna bite really quickly, aren't they? Are they... do they like the fly lures? I'm not sure if they do.
I don't...
Oh, they do.
Man, I don't know. You programmed it.
I did.
I just dropped them on the map.
Oh my god, that's a huge one. Nice. They can actually go up to 70 centimeters, I believe, so it's not too big. But yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much all of it about fishing. Did I miss anything else in terms of features, or I think we're open to just see the fish in the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really played through a lot of it ourselves on stream, so if you want to do any of the cutscenes or...
Gabe is really impatient to see me.
Yeah, go hang out with Gabe.
I guess.
Sacred mountain fish.
I'm just gonna go through it though.
All fish will not be available all days and all seasons. Just gonna throw that out there.
Oh yeah, another thing I should mention is that originally we weren't sure if we are gonna go with what was it? Where was we going with that? Oh yeah, a fishing mini game. So instead of there's a chicken inside Gabe's shop. Instead of going with a mini game, we decided to make the actual fishing mini game itself quite simple, so like a button press. But then we decided to put the difficulty on where the fish actually is and what type of lure you need to use and what type of line you need to use. So the difficulty of the catching of the fish is how impossible it is to catch it and where to find it and what to use. That is the difficulty. The difficulty is pretty much the knowledge of it. But we didn't make a super weird or crazy mini game. Some games do it, some games do it fantastically, but we just decided to go with a simple mini game, but then put the difficulty on the information side of things.
Yeah, and
oh yeah, what Kyle mentioned, you are going to get an ability that kind of lets you see the fish exactly underwater, like go into a very specific vision mode. That will
Yeah.
come later with Sparky and all of that stuff. But yeah, we've thought of that. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. No boats. Just
No,
gonna get that out of the way.
not in the base game.
No boats. No boats. We have a reason. There. So essentially, if there's anything that we're like adamantly like, no, we're not gonna put that in the game, you can probably assume it's because we're gonna put it in a DLC. Just gonna say that. That's all the information you're gonna get.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly get out and show you guys how the fish look underwater inside the engine itself. So,
Oh yeah, tell them how it works because it's cool.
yeah. So I'm gonna go into my fishing test area, which is quite boring looking. But this is how the fish look close up and underwater. And I'm pretty happy with the way they interact and move around and do things. And for those of you who are UE devs, this is a particle simulation for fish behavior. It's a Niagara specifically. And it is super performant. So I can actually change the number of fish we have if I choose their spawn point again. There we go. So currently we have 20 fish. How about 2,000? So now we have 2,000 fish just flying around with no performance hit whatsoever. They just move around. And I think we can even go up to 20,000.
Yeah, go crazy.
And here they are. And it is quite mesmerizing at some point. You just look at them swim around, and it looks, you know, sort of realistic. Some ocean fish literally swim around like this. Quite crazy.
Call of Duty Ghost take notes.
I don't know what the limit is, but I think it's 50,000. Yeah, it's getting a bit slow at this point. But you know, obviously we're never gonna have this many fish at once, but it's gonna be like this, like 20. But I just wanted to show you guys the extent we're going through to make sure this game runs on Switch. And the best part about the whole fishing mechanic is that nothing is running on CPU. These fish do not run on CPU whatsoever. All of it is handled via UV graphics card. And that is why when anybody asks if they can run Sunnyside, we always ask them what GPU do you have? Because Sunnyside is a lot more GPU intensive than it is CPU intensive. Like, another cool thing about the fish that I forgot to mention is the fact that their animation of them wiggling, that is not actually an animation. When you're using the same technique Abzu is using, you might have heard of the game. I mean, of course, Abzu is an amazing game. But the animation is done via using a mask of like black and white fades. And then wherever that black is, it's gonna bend the fish. And then wherever the white is, it's not gonna bend the fish. And then you're gonna end up with this kind of natural fish movement. If I put this on real time, you're gonna be able to see them actually do their thing. And this means that the fish are super, super performant because they have no animation inside them. They just have this, and you can go really crazy with it. It's really funny. Yeah, and that's how the fish works.
Why do I hear boss music? Yeah, the fish are really cool. That's actually also how our like foliage works.
Yeah, our foliage is also on a similar situation. So we're using Unreal's foliage system not only for foliage, but for decorations inside of shops and things. And that's one of the reasons the shops can be really full of things. Salco's has a lot of like tiny items inside it, but you still don't really get a performance hitch at all. Abzu is an amazing game, Miss Bubbles, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for this one. We have some announcements to make, and then after that we are going to hop onto our Discord stage. Make sure to join up there when it's... Can they join up now? I think you can join up and wait, right? Yeah, it's called AMA sessions, and you can go ahead and join up there. I can't hear you, Sydney, by the way, if you're speaking. Okay, I think we might have lost Sydney. but yeah, we have some announcements to make, and as I kind of ruined it at first, we are going to be adding. Let me just quickly switch to my face. And let's get the chat over there. There we go. We are adding more streamers to the alpha list, so keep an eye out for that. There's going to be more people added, I think, weekly as before. And the other one is to if we have, I think Sydney's having some difficulties. I still can't hear you. Could be my PC. Let me just have a look.
How about now?
Oh yeah, there you go.
My internet crashed.
And you're calling my PC my internet bad. Karma. So I just mentioned about the more streamers being added to the list. Do you have anything you want to add to that? I was talking about what we're doing for the AMA session, right? Yeah.
So as soon as we end the stream, y'all are going to be welcome to go into the stream QA. It's like a text channel. Y'all can ask questions. We weren't able to get to a lot of questions in this stream, but we definitely want to take the time to answer them. So hop in there. We'll be in the stage channel. You guys can listen to us. We'll answer questions. We'll chat. I think there's a system where you can like raise your hand to speak. We'll figure it out. We'll have fun with it. What did you say while I was gone?
I mentioned about the more streamers being added to the streamer list, and I thought if you wanted to add anything else to
awesome,
that.
cool. Yeah, so I've been getting a ton of people requesting to join the alpha. And we kind of have to balance it between being fair to the people who did Kickstarter and backed us on BackerKit while also, wanting to support influencers. So we had closed off the list like back in September, I think. But we're going to open it back up. So if you would like to be an influencer alpha, you're going to have to email me. Can you like put my email on I guess I can just type it in the chat.
Yeah, that might be easy.
Please don't spam me with ridiculous emails. But if you want to be part of it, you're going to have to email me. If you've already requested it and I haven't replied to you, go ahead and email me again, because I've gotten so many requests, I haven't been able to track all of them. I've gotten them on Twitter and Discord and and email and Instagram and all that stuff. So it's too much. So send me an email if you want to be a part of it. If you know somebody who wants to be part of it, tell them to email me. Can I join the alpha? When you do email me, send me a link to your channel, whether it's Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, because I am going to be looking to see if you are actually a influencer and a streamer and a content creator. If you've got 2 videos that you made in the last week, sorry, we're not going to bring you in.
Yeah.
But if you're, if you've got 30 followers and you've been streaming for the last 6 months and you're making a good go of it, yeah, that's fine. It's not about streamer count. It's about how active you are and whether or not you're actually looking to make that a viable thing for yourself. But if you just went and made a Twitch account real quick and did a stream yesterday so that you can join the alpha, we're not going to bring you in because that's just not fair. Yeah.
But if you want to play Sunnyside, we are going to have more giveaways of the alpha code.
Yeah.
So
absolutely
join the Discord if you haven't, and we're going to have more of those coming up soon. The other one is the dates. I think Sydney mentioned it, but if you want to go over it again just to solidify it.
So we do have official dates set up. We've been kind of ambiguous about it in the past, but we wanted to announce the actual date. So here it is. So December 22nd, if you backed our Kickstarter at the alpha tier to where you get access, or it's called early access, I think, on actual Kickstarter, on December 22nd, that's when we're going to open up alpha to you. We're going to email you a key and you'll have access through it that way. If you ordered 2 keys, you'll get 2 keys, however many you got. So you just have to keep an eye out for your email, make sure you're not missing out on anything. We're going to release on the 22nd, and then we're going to go on holiday break through Christmas. we'll be back on the 27th to start fixing bugs. So y'all will have time to play through it, mess around with it, and then use our bug reporting system, which you'll get in the email, to report bugs and stuff. And then on 27th, we'll start fixing them. So we just want to let you guys know that we are going to be dropping it and running away for a little while. So don't freak out. It's planned that way. And then if you purchased early access through BackerKit, that will be the BackerKit Alpha. And that's going to open up on February 14th of 2022. So if you have not purchased that yet and you would like to, definitely go do that as soon as possible. We're going to be giving you guys at least 2 weeks notice before we close down the pre-orders. So we're going to let you guys know. Then the other announcement is that both of the alphas, both of the Kickstarter Alpha and the BackerKit Alpha, is going to run actively through March. So the end of March, which means we're going to be actively updating it, sending you guys stuff, interacting with you guys, fixing bugs, all that. At the end of March, we're going to close the whole thing down. You'll still have access to the alpha, but we're not going to be working on it anymore because at that point, we're going to go into full production. So it's having to bug fix and do all that stuff and work on a live game is a lot harder and takes a lot more time than if we can just work on the game. So that's why we're closing it off. So you guys can still play it, but we're just not going to be working on your version. We're going to be working on the next version. And then anybody who purchased early access, so the Kickstarter or the BackerKit, is going to have access to a closed beta test when that version is ready, which will probably, this one is super tentative, probably going to be August or September. So if you purchase early access, it's going to cover both the alpha and the beta. So just so you guys know. So we're not trying to cut you guys out or anything. We want you guys to still be able to play the game, but we just need time to develop it. So
another thing for some people that might have, I was zoned out. So if you mentioned it, please tell me. But a lot of people have the question that if they have bought the game on Switch, but they want to be part of the early access, how is that going to work? Basically, you're going to get access to the early access version of the game. And then once the early access ends, you're just going to get your Switch version to play. And if we have to basically delay that, you're not going to get your access revoked. You're going to have access until your version release comes out. So keep that in mind as well. I think what's next for us is just we're going to add more content to the alpha. You can look out for Sebastian, more NPCs coming in. But we're at a point that we kind of, instead of adding new features and mechanics to the game, we kind of just want to polish the ones that we already have. There's a bunch of features with the building system and all that. And we definitely want to add a lot of content to the build system. I know a lot of the streamers want to decorate their house really nicely. They want to make paths and all those stuff. So we want to go ahead and make those stuff for you guys.
But at the same time, we also have to start working on the Kickstarter version. Yeah. So we're going to be focusing more on getting the Kickstarter version ready, which is going to essentially be what you see now, but with a few more things added to it. And then the BackerKit will be that version with a few more things added to it. So we're just going to kind of keep slowly adding. And then,
Miss Bubbles, I'm not sure what NS stands for.
Nintendo Switch.
I'm stupid. Are the save files? Probably not.
Probably not.
Because of how stuff like images that you can take on your phone is managed, it's probably not going to be compatible with each other now. Right, and we're gonna be seeing you guys on the AMA on Discord. But don't go anywhere because I have something that I'm just doing impromptu now, and I didn't plan it out. So a lot of you guys remember that I mentioned about our battle theme being different. Yeah. And don't worry, I'm not gonna do the battle theme. So we completely changed the battle theme, and we went from a rock theme to a disco one. But we were thinking, okay, so when you go in a fight in a cave, it's going to play you that really nice disco funky track. But what is it going to play when you're just exploring? So we kind of downscaled the fighting theme, the funky fighting theme for that specific level, and we kind of made it more chill. And I wanted to play you guys that right after we press end. So don't go anywhere. Stay to
Can't resist.
to hear that out. I'm just gonna as soon as I click that transition button, we're gonna be hearing the new direction for the battle themes in the game. If that's everything, Sydney, we can go ahead and do that and see everybody in AMA.
I think that's it. Again, if I did not answer your question, just go post it in the AMA area. We're gonna be that's my email. We're gonna be answering more questions and stuff. So again, if I didn't get to you in here, I apologize. It's just because, you know, we want to keep this short and then give you guys a good period of time in the Ask Me Anything. Yeah. So go over there and ask us all the questions.
Right. Make sure to join up Reddit, Wishlist Sunnyside on Steam. You can follow us on Twitter. You can join our Discord. All the links are down below or in the chat somewhere. And we'll see you guys there. You'll have a great night and we'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.